Come in, Ray.
This is Jack Burton in the Pork Chop Express, and I'm talking to whoever's listening.
Calling the War Council of Gallifrey. This is the Doctor.
I am Iron Man.
Tell me.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of things to talk about this week. I did the show last week on my own, so we'll probably end up going back over some of the stuff that we talked about last week. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
It must have been. You in a room with nothing but yourself and your thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Thankfully, there's no live stream.
Legally, we weren't allowed to have one.
Okay, look, so tonight, of course, is the start of New York Comic Con.
It is indeed.
So this weekend is probably going to be chock-a-block full of craziness and madness and no sleep for us here at the site, who're going to be posting stories right into the wee small hours. But we've already... Last night was the big launch for DC Universe, the new streaming service.
Indeed it was, yeah.
And I have to say that they pretty much... They started off pretty strong. Now, we got the first taste of the Harley Quinn animated series.
Which genuinely surprised me.
Yeah.
I laughed.
There
was humour, and it was bright.
Yeah, I actually thought it was really good. This is, but take a wee listen. This is the kind of stuff now. So, you know, I put this on our site last night whenever it broke, and somebody came on and went, I don't think it's very funny that DC are taking having a laugh at Marvel, because DC aren't in any position to laugh at Marvel. And I just wrote, LOL, really? So yeah, I love that this is getting, you know, this sort of stuff. Because, I mean, Deadpool, Teen Titans Go, there's a lot of fun going back and forth there. And
honestly, at this point, it's like watching two mountains of money have a fight while the pennies squabble at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, like that's basically the equivalent.
So that was Kelly Cuoco.
It was.
Cuoco?
Yeah, from Eight Simple
Bang.
Rules and Big Bang Theory,
Big Bang
yeah.
Theory. And
good to see she's still getting work.
Yeah, you know what? I think she nailed it. I thought she was really, really good.
Yeah, I know, because like when you think of a Harley Quinn animated series, Tara Strong, fantastic. No, Kaylee Cuoco, and then everyone was like, really, her off the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Are you mad? Nails it.
Yeah, I thought she was really good. And you know, and looking at her, she actually would be a really good live action Harley as well. I never realised before, but
there
when you
is
look at
fan art of her as Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
there's fan art of her as a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, especially if you make your name on the Big Bang Theory, there's a lot of nerds out there that go,
Yeah.
"You'd look good as Wonder Woman, or you'd look good as Supergirl."
But
Oh,
no-
wouldn't you be an amazing Poison Ivy? Oh, she's Harley Quinn now,
Are you quite done? Are you quite done?
Nope.
I looked at the picture of her last night for the site, and I was like, you know what? She would be a really, really good Harley Quinn.
She actually would, yeah.
Yeah, because she... Anyway, but so that's coming up on the streaming series. We also found out that Titans has already got a season 2.
Right.
Have you been watching the trailers?
I've seen some of the trailers, yeah.
The last trailer that came out, the Netflix trailer, which was like a 2.5 minute.
I've seen that
trailer.
one, yeah.
Do you know what? I think it looks really good.
It does, yeah. It looks like a... There goes the voice. I've been using my voice all week. No, it looks like an adult version.
Because there's people out there who don't.
Well, I don't. I don't talk to anyone until I come here on Thursday nights.
That's one thing about you. You say very little.
That's right, until I say a lot.
Until, yeah.
But yeah, no, it looks like an adult sort of version of Teen Titans, because, you know, like with Teen Titans, you've got the sort of the kids' perspective with Teen Titans Go. With the original animated series, that was one of those kind of Batman the animated series things where it didn't matter what age you watched, there was always a little something there in it for you. And now with this one, it looks like they're going full 18 years and over kind of content. So it's kind of nice in its respect that they're doing that, because now we've got 3 separate versions of the same story that no matter what your age is, no matter what your preference is, you can sit down and enjoy it.
Yeah. I think. What do you think? Do you think it's a streaming service? Because they've also got Doom Patrol coming up, which is going to have Brendan Fraser. Matt Bomer last night was announced as well. Timothy Dalton's going to be in it.
Doom Patrol, I'm really looking forward
Doom
to,
Patrol
based
looks like-
on the strength of the cast alone.
Yeah, and I mean it's going to come from Titans. The cast, the Doom Patrol is going to be introduced in Titans, and then they're going to get their own.
Oh, that's good. I like it when they do things like that.
Yeah. Then there's going to be Swamp Thing, which apparently isn't going to be connected, but might down the line. It's not. It exists as its own thing, but not necessarily a separate thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like if the opportunity arises to connect them together,
Yeah,
they'll still have that option.
And then Stargirl is going to be the other show that they're doing. Yeah, it looks. What excites me about this is that there's no restriction. There's no studio interference. This is DC Comics making this.
Yeah.
And you can tell from the Titan stuff and what we've been seeing, like from Robot Man and stuff from Doom Patrol, that they're just going full comic book on this.
Well, I mean, that's what you have to do in this day and age, isn't it? I mean, Marvel kind of got the ball rolling with that back in 2008, whenever they said, do you know what, we're tired of taking it to New Line, or we're tired of taking it to Lionsgate, or whoever, like, let's just start our own production company.
Yeah.
So then that way there's no one over our heads, we can make whatever we want, and make what we think the fans want to see. And it paid off for them. So I think it makes sense for DC to start trying this themselves.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the one thing that a lot of people seem to forget. They seem to think that, like on the average level, people seem to think that DC is exactly like Marvel, where they have full creative control on whatever they do. And obviously Disney owns Marvel now, but Disney very, very rarely would interfere. Mm-hmm. Whereas with a lot of the DC properties, Warner Brothers executives are breathing down people's necks.
Yeah, which has been a big problem for DC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it was a case of DC had their own production company and their own studio, we would have seen things like a better cut of Batman v Superman in its cinematic release.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people seem to forget that it's the executives, it's the faceless suits that come in and butcher the creativity.
Exactly.
And that's where a lot of the negativity comes from.
Yeah, so hopefully this time now they're going to have full free. And I mean, to me it looks like, because I love the Arrowverse, I love, Supergirl is absolute pants. But
yeah, but
the other shows in there are a lot of fun, they're enjoyable and everything else. But this looks like it's going to take it to another whole level, because the CW still has to, it has certain boundaries and guidelines it has to stick to. Whereas, as we saw from the first Titans trailer, they're just DC are just going to completely do their own thing with this, and more power to them.
No, absolutely, and especially the fact that it's their own streaming service as well. So I don't think, with streaming services, I don't think you have to worry too much about quotas and reach and figures and what have you, because it's your own streaming service, and it doesn't matter if it gets a certain amount of views in a night.
Yeah.
They're playing the long game with it. So people can sit down, they can stream the entire series in one go right then and there. They can watch an episode here and there. They can wait for about a month and then...
as far as I know now, they are going to be releasing it week by week.
Week by week.
Yeah,
but even still, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a case of going, okay, the first episode's out, it needs to reach X amount of million people this night in this time slot, otherwise that's it, it's cancelled. It's a case of people going, okay, well, if it's being released week by week, I'm not going to watch it week by week. I'll hold off and watch the entire series in one go when it's out and free to watch. Yeah. So it doesn't matter when people watch it, the important thing is that they do watch it, and that's what makes the numbers.
Yeah. Do you think, is this... going on a tangent here, do you think have we seen the end of conventional television? Do you think it's TV?
We've already seen TV's dead.
Yeah.
Like I think, what is the saying? TV's the box they're going to bury it in.
Yeah.
And they've already started digging. I mean, with conventional TV, I don't know anyone that watches it anymore.
I don't either. I mean, like, my dad will still say to me, "Oh, did you see that thing on BBC One last night?" And I'm like,
No, because I don't live in the 70s.
I don't know what BBC One is anymore.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, like, you're starting to see it, especially with the likes of every single major channel that we have here in the UK has its own catch-up service.
Yeah, because funny, we would watch like
iPlayer,
and all that
ITV
kind of stuff,
Studios, like the Channel 4 one and the Channel 5 one. Like, they've all got their own dedicated catch-up services.
Yeah.
And I think you're starting to find, and even the BBC came up with a report recently saying they need to shift things over to the iPlayer now.
Yeah, well, aren't they? Andrew's actually listening here, and I'm almost sure Andrew posted something about this recently. Oh, Poison Ivy, by the way, and the Harley Quinn is an actress called Lake Bell.
Lake Bell,
I have to say, doesn't do anything, doesn't ring a bell. But yeah, he was saying...
Ironically,
Andrew,
we're the only one that laughed at that.
I know, I did that laugh. Andrew, I think, posted something about this, that apparently BBC now are looking for locations to film stuff for their online content now.
Yeah,
that
but like
that shift
in different places outside of London as well, and I think
like Wales, Scotland.
You're definitely seeing the death of TV as it's happening now. I think one thing that I would like to see go is the licence fee.
Yeah, but
I think that has to be abolished.
But do you not think when the licence fee goes, which it will, like if you think of, you've got Amazon, you've got Netflix, you've got now the DC thing, which is going to come over. Disney's releasing its own streaming service. You've got Hulu, you've got Apple. Do you not think it's going to get to the point where, you're not going to be able to watch everything?
No, you're not. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
I think that allows you to streamline the content that you do watch. So say, for example, if there's a show that you enjoy on Amazon Prime, but then there's a show that you enjoy on Netflix, eventually you weigh the two up and go, okay, well, what do I watch the more on?
Yeah.
Do I watch more things on Netflix or more things on Amazon Prime? I watch more things on Netflix, right? Bye-bye Amazon Prime.
Do you remember about, I don't know, it must have been 10, 12 years ago, maybe this stage now, whenever Firefly was cancelled, Joss Whedon had this idea that he said that if you want, the future for TV should be Kickstarter or, fun, where basically if you like a show and you want to see more of it, you pay
back
like
it.
a couple of £1 or whatever towards it, or a couple of dollars, a euro, wherever you are. And eventually if the show makes enough money, they will carry on that way. Isn't that kind of what this is?
It is kind of what it is, in the sense that you're paying it to one production company that's an umbrella company that oversees multiple shows. But it is very, very similar in that regard. It's basically Joss Whedon's idea, but on a wider scale.
Yeah.
And I think that is, as you're saying, that is the future. I think with conventional TV, I don't know, man. I think that's it. I think it's done. With the BBC especially, I think they are in the Stone Age at the moment. I think they've garnered a lot of negativity over this past decade especially.
Yeah.
And I think no matter what they try, if they try to put more content on iPlayer, if they abolish the license fee especially, that is the final nail in the BBC's coffin. They know it.
Do you think, taking it to the next logical step, that this is the end of cinema?
In a way, I think it's the end of cinema. I think it's the end of cinema in a sense that you're not going to get a bunch of people on a Friday night going, okay, let's all go see a movie together. I think you're going to get a bunch of people going, the newest release is out on Netflix, come round to my house, because you've got a nice... Let's put it this way. The amount of money you spend on ticket prices at cinemas, which have been skyrocketing recently...
I have seen me taking my two kids to the cinema and spend maybe £50
Exactly.
to see a bad movie.
It's ridiculous, the price of going to the cinema. So imagine if you totted up the amount of money you spent going to the cinema. Put that all together. Say you didn't go to the cinema for a year. Put all that together. Say like, oh, okay, there's a new Wonder Woman movie out, or there's a new whatever out. Instead of taking that £50 that you're spending on that, stick it in a jar. About after a year has passed, you'll have enough money to buy yourself a really, really big TV for your living room. Enough money for that left over for a subscription to Netflix or a subscription to any of these other streaming services. So say, for example, with myself, I have a 72-inch TV in my front room. And the way that I've set my living room out at the moment is I have two sofas that face each other. So if people come to visit, you can sit down, you're facing them, you have a cup of tea or whatever. If you want to have a movie night, you take one of those sofas, slide it round to a 90-degree angle so it forms a V shape. So you can sit there with your mates and watch a movie. So I think that is definitely the future. Like for smaller indie movies, for serious cinemaphiles, I think there will still be cinemas open and ready to show that. I think they're not going to be as prevalent as they are right now.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it took us years and years and years to finally get a cinema in my local town. I think you're going to see the death of that. I think, if anything, there's going to be one or two cinemas in major capital cities, like, for example, Belfast. You'll see a cinema or two there all the time. But for places like Newry, for Lisburn, for any other sort of smaller cities or towns, you're not going to see that anymore.
Because if you look at like the big franchises, Disney are bringing out their streaming service, and they've already announced that they're going to be doing like a... Well, they haven't announced, but the rumour is they're going to be doing like a live action MCU show, which will focus on secondary characters like, Scarlet Witch.
Brilliant! I've
Black
always
Widow.
wanted that.
But what I'm saying is, if you take that rather than like the likes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cloak and Dagger and stuff, which most people, to be honest, probably aren't really that fussed about.
No.
But if you're taking that, then you have like, we'll talk a bit about this a bit more, Jon Favreau's upcoming live action Star Wars series.
Yeah, the Mandalorian show.
Yeah, so then they're going to be doing, and also like Netflix are doing like Lord of the Rings, they're doing the Chronicles of Narnia, they're bidding for Stephen King's Dark Tower. All the big things that you want to see are going to be right in your living room. So I just think that as TVs get bigger, it is going to get to the point where, unfortunately, down the line, what are you even going to... I recently played the Arkham 3D Arkham Batman Arkham Knight, or whatever you call it. I don't know what it is.
Arkham Knight 3D, yeah.
It's amazing. It's fully immersive. It's absolutely incredible. It's just getting to the point, why did you even leave the house? And that scares me a bit.
Yeah, because again, it feels like another form of control, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Like if people are boxed into their own little cages, and they're given more and more excuses not to leave.
Yeah.